It all began with a handwritten note. 10-year-old Noah Carter, a patient at Starlight Children's Hospital, had written to the president. His message was brief, yet deeply sincere. "Dear Mr. Trump," it read, "I know you're very busy. I'm in the hospital with cancer, but I don't want toys or games. I just want to meet you." The letter landed on Donald Trump's desk one chilly Monday morning. Usually, such letters received warm responses. But something about Noah's honesty and gentle courage struck a chord with him. Later that day, he turned to his staff and said, "Clear my schedule for Friday. We're visiting a hospital." The announcement stunned the staff at Starlight Children's Hospital in Virginia. The visit would be private. No media, no politics, just the president and the children. When the hospital called Noah's mother, Danielle Carter, she was speechless. A single mother who had been juggling 2 jobs before her son's diagnosis. Danielle could hardly believe it. "The president is coming to see Noah," a nurse told her, voice trembling. She looked at her sleeping son, his hair gone, his body weakened. But that spark in his smile never faded. Whispering gently, she said, "You're going to meet him, baby, just like you wished." By Friday, the hospital was abuzz with anticipation. Nurses tidied rooms, doctors reviewed files again and again, and the children whispered in excitement. In room 207, Noah, wearing his favorite cap adorned with a worn superhero pin, sat propped up by pillows, gazing out the window. "What do you think he'll be like?" asked Mia, his lively 8-year-old roommate suffering from a lung condition. Noah smiled faintly. "I want to ask him something. Something I've never asked anyone before." Mia tilted her head. "Like, what?" Noah looked away, suddenly quiet. "You'll see." Outside, 2 black SUVs arrived silently. No flashing cameras, just a quiet approach. President Trump stepped out in a dark suit, his face softer than the one most were used to seeing. He turned to his security detail. "This isn't a campaign event. Only intervene if necessary. This visit is about the kids." Inside, the hospital director, Dr. Helen Marks, nervously welcomed him. "Mr. President, thank you for coming. The children have been talking about this all week." "I came for one boy," Trump replied, "but I'll meet as many as I can." Dr. Marks led him down the brightly decorated halls, covered in cartoon murals and painted clouds. The scent of antiseptic lingered with a hint of bubblegum shampoo. When they reached room 207, Noah sat up straighter as the door opened. Trump entered alone. Noah's eyes lit up. He looked smaller than Trump expected, frail but brave. "Hello, young man," Trump said, pulling a chair next to his bed. "You really came?" Noah asked with a grin. "I said I would," Trump answered. From the corner, Danielle wiped away tears. She hadn't seen her son this animated in weeks. Trump gently took Noah's hand. "So, what did you want to ask me?" Noah glanced at his IV, then looked into the president's eyes. "It's not just for me. It's for all the kids here. We have a wish. It's a little different." Trump leaned forward, intrigued. "Go ahead. Promise you'll really listen?" "I promise," Trump said, and meant it. Noah took a deep breath. "We don't want toys or video calls with famous people. We want something real." Trump raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" "We want a garden," Noah said softly. "A garden?" Trump repeated. Noah nodded. "A place outside with trees, flowers, and butterflies. So kids like us, who can't go home, can at least feel like we're still part of the world." Danielle gasped, overcome with emotion. Trump paused. "There's no garden here?" "There used to be," Dr. Marks chimed in. "But due to safety and funding issues, it was closed off. It's just an empty space now." Noah added quietly, "We just want to feel normal again. Smell flowers. Watch something grow." The room fell into silence. Finally, Trump stood. "Where is it?" Dr. Marks led him to a neglected courtyard. Weeds had overtaken the area, benches were broken, and pavement cracked. Yet something about the place felt sacred, like it held the laughter of the children who once played there. Trump brushed his hand across a rusted swing. "We can fix this." At the window, Mia had wheeled Noah closer to see. Trump turned toward him. "I can't promise miracles, son, but I do promise this. I'll make sure this garden blooms again." Noah's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you. And I want you to help design it," Trump added. By the next morning, his team was on calls with architects, landscapers, and hospital leadership. This wasn't just about constructing a garden. It was about building a sanctuary of hope. Trump even called Danielle directly. "I want Noah to draw what he sees in his imagination. Trees, paths, flowers, whatever he dreams up, we'll bring to life." Noah was ecstatic. With Mia's help, he began sketching. "I want a fountain, not too big, just enough to hear the water, and trees that turn red in autumn." Mia chimed in. "And a path that smells like flowers." Danielle watched her son, fragile but beaming, breathe life into his drawing. At the hospital board, some questioned the effort. "Why invest in a garden?" one member asked. Dr. Marks answered firmly, "Because Noah is teaching us what true healing means." Trump sent the first check himself. "No red tape," he said. "Just make it happen." Construction began the next week. Crews worked in rain and cold while children watched from their windows, cheering every new addition. For Noah, the garden wasn't just a project, it was his legacy, something that would live on, even if he didn't. Word got out. Photos of Trump's visit surfaced. Rumors flew. Was it political? A stunt? But when reporters contacted the hospital, Dr. Marks made it clear. There were no cameras, no agenda, just a child's wish coming true. Still, headlines spread. Trump builds garden after dying boy's plea. A promise to a child changes everything. Letters poured in. Schools sent artwork. Veterans crafted benches. A retired florist donated rare seeds. Volunteers flooded Trump's team, all wanting to help. Meanwhile, Noah's condition worsened. "Are you scared?" Mia asked one evening. Noah stared out the window. "No, I just want to see it finished." Danielle held his hand. "You will, baby. You must." But doctors weren't certain. The cancer was spreading fast. Trump, upon hearing the news, made another quiet visit. Noah was weaker now, his voice faint. "We're almost there," Trump whispered. "Can I see it?" Noah asked. Trump paused. "Yes, tomorrow." That night, floodlights illuminated the courtyard. Construction crews worked non-stop. Even secret, service agents pitched in, hauling wheelbarrows and clearing paths. They were driven by a child most had never met. By dawn, it was ready. That morning, Noah was wheeled out, surrounded by nurses and his mother. The sun was just rising. Light filtered through fresh trees. The air smelled like lavender. Noah's eyes lit up. It's real. There were towering sunflowers, winding paths of flowers, a gentle fountain, and butterflies already fluttering about. Mia held their original sketch. "It looks exactly like you drew it," she whispered. Trump stood silently near the entrance. Noah turned and smiled at him. "You kept your promise." Trump nodded. "And you kept me honest." At the gate stood a plaque. "Noah's Garden, where hope grows." Noah touched it with trembling fingers. "I'm not scared anymore," he said. 3 days later, he passed away peacefully in his sleep. Danielle held his hand. Mia was curled up nearby. His final words, "Tell the garden. Thank you." When Trump received the call, he sat in silence. Then he asked Danielle if he could attend the funeral. Quietly. He would have wanted you there, she said. At the small service, Trump stood at the back. No cameras, no press. Just a man saying farewell to a boy who had touched his heart. After the burial, Trump walked alone to the garden. A breeze rustled the trees Noah had drawn. Sitting on a bench, Trump whispered, "Rest easy, Noah. You gave more than you'll ever know." The story spread nationwide, not because of headlines, but because of the emotion behind them. Hospitals across America began turning empty courtyards into gardens, naming them after children who had passed or inspired others. Noah's sketch was framed in the White House. Danielle received letters from strangers. "Your son made my daughter smile again. Noah showed me what courage really means." Mia became the first junior ambassador of Hope Gardens, a nonprofit Trump helped establish in Noah's honor. And something changed in Trump, too. He began visiting children's hospitals regularly, without cameras, without speeches, just listening, just keeping promises. Though grief still lived in Danielle's heart, one morning she stood in Noah's garden, watching another child draw on a sketch pad. Just like Noah used to. She knew then. She had to stay. Danielle applied to become a family counselor at the hospital. "I can't bring Noah back," she told Dr. Marks, "but I can walk other mothers through this same fire." Dr. Marks embraced her. "He'd be proud," Trump later called her. "I just wanted you to know," he said gently. "Noah's not just a name on a plaque. He's part of something much bigger now." Danielle smiled softly. "He always was. The world just finally saw it." Inspired by the story, a wealthy Texas donor funded a garden in Dallas. Across the country, others followed. Veterans, school kids, families, ordinary people began creating sanctuaries in Noah's memory. One Army veteran in Montana transformed his backyard for terminally ill children. A third-grade class in Ohio raised $600 from lemonade sales to buy soil and seeds. Noah's Garden had become a movement. But at its heart, every week, Mia still returned to the original garden. She'd sit quietly and talk like Noah was still there. "You were right," she'd whisper. "The flowers really do make us feel better." 1 year later, Trump was invited to speak at the National Pediatric Healthcare Summit. As cameras rolled, he pulled a crumpled letter from his jacket. It was Noah's. "Sometimes," he began, "a child writes to you, and it changes your life." He didn't speak as a politician that day. He spoke as a man forever changed by a boy's quiet bravery.